Don't believe those lying people who say Hondas are infallible. If you want a car that shuts off unexpectedly, keep watching this video. And if you care about safety, stay until the end. And what if you're someone who gets offended easily? Because you have an emotional connection with the brand, with Honda, and the only thing left is to get a little intimate with the vehicle. The best option is to use your phone and do this. Look, skip this video because you're probably going to get mad at me and you won't want to accept it. But all I'm doing is bringing information, real facts that will help you or could help you make a better buying decision. Welcome. And yes, today I bring bad news for Honda, the Japanese brand. And we already know that when I say bad news, it's not to scare you, it's to keep you alert, to warn you. Pay attention, as this could directly affect you. And it's very important that you stay until the end, because we're going to see why this problem isn't just another recall or service campaign. And why could this be the beginning of something much bigger? So what's happening with Honda and also with Acura, which is Honda's luxury division, the National Hockey League, which is the Federal Highway Safety Agency in the United States, a respected agency, has launched a preliminary investigation into over 1.4 million Honda and Acura vehicles. Which are they? I'll tell you later. Focus on the problem. With this, failures in the connecting rod bearing of the 3.5-liter V6 engine that can lead to a complete engine failure. The issue could be quite serious, with risks of accidents or fires. However, there are no reports of injuries or deaths so far, fortunately. But it's very important that you know which models are affected. And for that, pause the video. Maybe you should take a screenshot to send it to the owners of the following videos. Attention, these are the affected models. Honda Pilot, one of the most popular vehicles between 2016 and 2020 Honda Odyssey, the minivan from 2018 to 2020. Note, those vehicles are among the affected vehicles. And also a pickup truck, one of the favorites, the Honda Ridgeline. That one is affected among the 2017 to 2019 models. Now then, also the one from the Big Brother or the luxury division, which is really being heavily affected in sales. Few people buy Acuras in the United States, even though the brand isn't available in many other countries. And a few years ago, it was popular. It had some acceptance among consumers, but it's really going downhill. That's it. There's only one Acura model that sells. The rest don't sell at all. The Acura MDX, also a popular model from that Japanese brand, from 2016 to 2020, is affected by this problem, as well as the TLX from 2018 to 2020. Attention, affected models. Why now if there was a recall in 2023? Good question. In November 2023, about 250,000 vehicles were recalled or inspected because of a defect in the crankshaft that affected the connecting rod bearings. This investigation is different because the cases reported now are outside the scope of the previous recall, meaning they weren't included. That recall is not related to that specific defect. That's why you should watch this video and stay informed. And if you know someone who's interested in a Honda, who's going to buy one, a used Honda, or already has one, then send them this video. What's the latest update we have? Well, here's the update from the last few days. If you thought 2023 was the end of the problem, the bad news isn't over. This very week, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and it's important that you check the video's publication date so you can verify, opened a new formal investigation. What does this investigation indicate? There are more than 414 direct reports of failures in these engines, and Honda also submitted over 2,500 related warranty reports. Some engines failed after just 22,000 miles. From which vehicles that I mentioned to you earlier? There were at least 4 crashes or fires, but no injuries. At least that's something positive. The worst part is, these cases aren't related to the manufacturing defect from the last recall. Many people think, I already took it in for inspection in 2023 after getting the Honda or Acura letter. This is unrelated to that. Therefore, we're talking about a different problem, or even a deeper, more serious one, that puts Honda back in the sights of the federal agency. But I have more concrete data, no beating around the bush. But first, if you're enjoying this video, it's very important that you give it a like. Why? This way, it reaches current Honda owners lacking this info, as well as those interested in buying a Honda. So it's important to give it a like, share it, and also subscribe to this channel. Because I have information like this, not only about Honda, but also about other brands that have had recent problems, which can also serve as guidance And, well, there's also a lot more content about exclusive events and breaking news from the automotive world. So I appreciate your subscription to the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. So let's continue. Concrete facts, no beating around the bush. The investigation began on August 20, 2025. This is quite recent. Fortunately, no deaths or injuries have been reported so far, but the situation is already serious. What worries regulators is the possibility that this J35J engine has a broader design flaw that makes it vulnerable. What does this mean for owners? Good question. At the moment, there is no official recall, no call for review, just an investigation, a preliminary alert. If you drive one of these models, watch for symptoms. What are they? Metallic noises, vibrations, warning lights, loss of power, serious problems. Document all of this, because if this ends up in a recall or a service campaign, to the market, you need to have evidence, and it could help you make a claim for future repairs. That's why it's important to be well-informed and know what to do. But Honda isn't the only one having problems, and lately, as you know, other manufacturers are also struggling. You can see this in my related videos. You can look there for the problems that Chevrolet has had, for example. They had to recall the Corvette Z06, and also the problems they've had with their engines. The ZR1 has also had problems due to the risk of fuel leaks, so it's not the only one affected. For example, I made a Nissan video. Some were upset, others appreciated it. Nissan faced a major recall over issues with its variable compression ratio engine. And Toyota. For the Toyota fans, who, as I said in that video, that sparked a lot of reactions, some of them even got aggressive and everything. I like Toyota since my Corolla lasted 11 years without issues. But those older Toyotas? Well, also although with less noise. Lately, it has received complaints about transmissions and hybrid systems. And you know what? The Tundra isn't spared. I mean, Honda isn't alone in this dance. But the difference is that here we're talking about an engine that the brand has always boasted as reliable, and that people have always bought and embraced as reliable. And the brand itself is a reliable brand. But it's important to know what's happening now with these models from the years I mentioned. So, what now? Well, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the federal agency, will assess whether the severity is enough to decide if they order a recall. Once a federal agency orders a recall, Honda or any notified manufacturer must respond. They respond immediately by owning up, writing the letters, and you'll get a letter. Honda must respond more clearly and quickly than in 2023. That's obvious. Meanwhile, the owners are in limbo, waiting, crossing their fingers that their engine doesn't blow up in the middle of the highway. It could be part of the problem. I'll give you a final preview. In the end, we'll see what to do if your engine is failing and how to prepare for a possible solution or repair campaign. And for the benefit of those who have a Honda and didn't take a screenshot of the affected vehicles, I want to go over them again here. Very important. Honda Pilot, a pretty popular SUV from 2016 to 2020. The Honda Odyssey from 2018 to 2020, and the Ridgeline pickup from 2017 to 2019. And for Acura, what about the 2016-2020 MDX and the TLX? There you have the affected years. If you have an Acura, but like I said, Acura really isn't selling much. But if there are owners, comment if you have one. If you own an Acura, and how has your experience been with your vehicle? Comment. If you have a Honda or have ever had one, have you ever owned a Honda? Let me know about your experience, or if you're experiencing any problems. So I keep asking you, do you have any of these models that I showed you in the chart? Have you noticed any noises, vibrations, or loss of power? Has the dealership told you anything when you take it in for service? Well, leave a comment because your experience could put pressure on the brand and on my videos. The brand executives watch them, and it's important for you to comment. It could also help other owners. Let's see, what are you experiencing with your Honda? And if everything is great, if everything is spectacular with your vehicle, let us know as well. Write it there and mention if you have any of the models mentioned, or if you have a Honda Accord, for example, or a Passport. Let me know there as well. In short, if Honda isn't as reliable as you thought, this issue appears more serious than the 2023 recall. So, if you think your engine is fine, it's better not to let your guard down. That's why it's very important to pay attention to how your vehicle is behaving. All right, I hope this information has been useful to you. Remember, there is fresh information about Toyota, Nissan, Chevrolet, and Ram. You'll find it in the related videos. And if not, just go to my page, to the channel, and there you'll find more information about these brands I've mentioned. Honda, Ford, Chevrolet, Nissan, Toyota, all of them. It's important you check them out. Leave a like on this video if you liked it, and also subscribe to the channel. I'm reminding you because it's very important too. Many watch the videos but don't subscribe. Please subscribe to support this creator. In order to keep bringing content like the one I'm sharing with you today, I'll see you and wait for you in the next video. A big hug.